It's January 11th, 2026. Welcome to YesToHellWith.com. Before I begin today's video, I'd like to make an observation. The traffic on Facebook is dramatically decreased. And I don't know if this is because of volume, which I doubt, or if it's because of Facebook. If you are experiencing problems with videos or ads or not being able to access like I've been told, please let me know in the comments section. I'm not concerned about acquiring a following. I want a smaller group of people who truly want to understand this content. So let me be clear about that. But the stats on Facebook are so low that it causes me to think that perhaps the company is messing with the algorithms. So please let me know. Now, this is a summation of today's video. The IRS process begins with presumption, not proof. And most people lose their position by responding too early and treating an unproven presumption as real. The proper sequence is to identify presumption, force authority to explain its jurisdiction, withhold status claims, keep the record clean, and delay action until the structure is exposed. Control is not found in immediate action or emotional assertions, but in discipline, restraint, and understanding when not to speak. Up till now, we've talked about fear, human behavior, and why most responses to the IRS fail before they ever begin. We've talked about sequencing, why when something is said matters more than what is said. Today, I want to show you what the proper order looks like, and more importantly, why that order exists. The system does not begin with proof. It begins with presumption. The IRS makes a presumption because it operates as a massive administrative system, not as a court that proves every case from scratch. Its starting presumption is simple, that you are a person within its regulatory reach and that an obligation already exists. This presumption is structural, not personal. Filing histories, prior correspondence, information returns, Social Security numbers, and even silence all feed that presumption. Here is the critical point. Presumption is not proof. It is a placeholder that allows the system to move forward unless it is properly interrupted. When someone responds as though the obligation is already real by explaining, denying, or justifying, they convert presumption into operational reality. That is why presumption is dangerous. It survives on premature responses. So the proper order begins here. First, presumption must be identified, not answered. Nothing else comes before this. If you answer the substance of a presumed obligation, you cure or fix the agency's defect instead of exposing it. Once that happens, you cannot undo it. Second, authority must be forced to explain itself. Authority is not created by letterhead, tone, or threats. Authority exists only if there is a lawful nexus between the agency and the individual for the specific obligation claimed. To prove authority, the IRS would have to establish on the record why it has jurisdiction over you for that given statute. Here is what most people miss. The IRS almost never volunteers this information. It doesn't have to. Most people argue conclusions instead of requiring foundations. They deny jurisdiction instead of demanding proof of it. They accept the frame and then fight inside of it. Authority collapses when it is required to explain itself clearly. That is why the system relies on presumption and compliance rather than demonstration. Once you truly understand this order, you no longer need to be told what to say. You know when not to speak, and that is where control actually begins. Now, if you have not secured your copy of the Liberty Dialogues, go to jamesbowersjohnson.com. Purchase the SOU for You package. It's at a 20% discount. This Liberty Dialogue set is vital to understanding this process and moving forward on your own independently. And as always, may truth reign supreme.